You may have had the same experience that I have had over the last couple of months. Happens pretty regularly now. Where you either go into your kitchen or in your office and you see somebody really deep in thought. And you ask them, is everything okay? And they say, yes, I'm just trying to figure out this Wordle. For those of you who I hear a chuckle from, you know what Wordle is. So I'll explain. Wordle is the new online game that people are playing. In fact, when it started last year, 90 people played a day, and today 500,000 people play this game. Wordle is pretty simple. You have to guess a 5-letter word, and you have 6 tries to do it. It's not as easy as you think. In fact, I was researching Wordle, and I believe there are only 12,000 5-letter words in the English dictionary, and only about 2,500 that people really know and are familiar. So it will only last 2.5 years. And when I was thinking about, by the way, this game was created by Josh Wordle. If you didn't know, he's a software engineer in Brooklyn, and his wife loves words, so this was a present to her to create this game. And by the way, if you win Wordle every day, and you can ask Kenner Feldman, he told me this morning he's only missed playing Wordle 2 times since it's been created. But if you win Wordle, your prize is pride. And I've been thinking about why this online game is such a craze. And the answer that I can come up with is that you only get 1 chance per day. 6 tries in that chance, but only 1 chance per day to win this game. Because if you get to that 6th time and you don't find out the word, it's over. Until the next day, but at that moment, the moment is gone. And this morning of Shabbat HaGadol in Parshat Mitzorah, we have in essence a form of Jewish Wordle, because the rabbis explain that the person who gets leprosy, this skin ailment, has it because of Lashon Hara, of wrong language. We call it gossip, but I like to use it in the Wordle form, choosing the wrong words in the wrong moment. The Chafetz Chaim, a 19th century rabbi, he writes a book of halachot, a book of Jewish laws, and it goes day by day and gives a lesson of shmirat halashon, how to guard one's tongue. And I looked at the lessons this week based on Wordle. And he says, the Chafetz Chaim explains that he acknowledges that each human being does not have the capability, every one of us, to last at the maximum 2 days without choosing the wrong words at one point or another. But right after he teaches this, he says that even though this is a challenging task, there is no way that we should run away from that mitzvah. And he gives a mashal, he gives an example of somebody who's walking on the beach and all of a sudden gems and diamonds wash up on the seashore. And he asks, would any rational person refrain from trying to gather those gems if he still knew that there would be no possibility to gather them all at once? We would still try and at least gather them in 1 or maybe 2, even though we couldn't gather them all at once. And the Vilna Gaon expands on the teaching of the Chafetz Chaim and explains that each moment in Hebrew, rega, each moment that we refrain from this inappropriate or from this wrong use of language, we merit a light from above that not even an angel can fathom. Notice, the Vilna Gaon says rega, not chodesh, a month, not shavua, a week, not shana, a year, not even yom, a day, but literally rega, which is the blink of an eye. Just try for a moment. What the Chafetz Chaim is trying to teach us is that if we think that a goal is out of reach, it's out of reach. But if we focus on the rega, literally this moment that already has passed from the time that I said moment, then we can achieve that light of the angel. Think about just a few words in history that because they were said in the right moment changed the path of our history. Don so beautifully read the prayer for Israel, but invoked not just his family, but the brothers and sisters of Israel who are literally under attack at this moment. But Herzl, way before the state of Israel was created, you can say those words with me. Im tirtzu ein zo agada. If you will it, it is no dream. He said it in a moment where there was none, but with those words, choosing appropriately, it became a reality. Many years later, when I was a child, President Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. In the moment, he chose those words and opened up a part of the world to freedom that even today desperately seeks more freedom. But we all know that words can hurt too, not only on an international level. But think about the nursery rhyme that we teach our children that they used to say in school, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Not a Jewish response. Not Parshat Metzora. That nursery rhyme was to build resilience in our young people and ourselves. But our tradition would argue, and the Chafetz Chaim would say, that words would actually hurt more than sticks, because sticks and stones are often taken into our hands only after those words begin to hurt. Just ask a young person who's bullied on a playground if they ever put away those words and don't live with them for the rest of their lives. But at the same time, words can change our lives forever. Forever. Think about the teacher when you were young who told you those 3 words, 4 words, you can do it. The boss who told you, or you were the boss who told your employee, thank you for the job you do. Your parents who told you these words, just try your hardest. And these words, as the Vilna Gaon explains, when said in the right moment, can change one person at a time. About a month ago, I had the honor of interviewing Ernie Johnson. He is basically one of the most well-known sports broadcasters in the world today. Every sport. And he told me, he said, Rabbi, I get paid to watch games with Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley. But look about who Ernie Johnson is, if you don't know his story. He has survived cancer twice, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and prostate cancer. He has 6 children, 4 of them who he adopted. One of them, an orphan from Romania, who when he went to adopt them, the woman in the orphanage said, don't take this one, he has muscular dystrophy. And he said, I'm taking this one. And for 32 years gave him a life of dignity and integrity. And this past year, Ernie Johnson's son passed away, Michael, of blessed memory. And when I asked him at the end of our interview, we spoke more about faith than about sports, because at 40 years old, Ernie Johnson found faith in his life. I said, give us a message to our faith community. He's not Jewish. He goes to a wonderful church in Atlanta. But the story he told me when I went back and listened to our recording echoes what the Vilna Gaon says about Parshat Metzora. The power to use the words in the right moment, only to uplift. Ernie told me, Rabbi, you never realize the power of the moment. It may seem insignificant, but it can change reality. And then he said we were getting to our time. I only had 58 minutes to interview him, and he said, can I stay? And I said, if you can stay, I'll stay too. And he said each week he buys his wife flowers. And for some reason, one week, he said he decided to buy 2 bouquets. And he didn't know why. And he walked out of the store. It's in Georgia, so it's Publix, not Ralph's. And he looked at the handicap parking, and he saw an elderly woman. And he walked up to this woman, and he said, you don't know me, and I don't know you, but the words he used, I think you need these flowers. And he says this woman looked him dead in the eye and said, sir, my husband died 1 year ago. Every week she'd buy me flowers. He'd buy me flowers. And this is the first time in 1 year that somebody gave me flowers. One rega, one moment. Wordle is a very serious game. You have 6 tries to get that word. But the way we use our words in our lives is not a game at all. Most days we do not have 6 chances. But if we use them wisely and use them timely, those words can create those moments of meaning. And so this week on Shabbat HaGadol, just 5 days before we sit at our Seder tables reunited once again, we will read words from slavery to freedom. We will read ancient words that our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, dating all the way back to the Jews in the deserts, they told that story because they had the power to choose. And this year, we have the ability to choose our own words, to be part of that story. So let us choose wisely. Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. God, may our lips only be words of praise. And may those words initiate moments of godliness, of sacredness, moments where we uplift the person next to us, the community we are a part of, and the people of Israel. Shabbat Shalom.